Hello students, this is me Saurav Barui. I am making this recording for the students of class 7 for the subject of social science. In this particular video, students will discuss about this chapter number 5 from social and political life of your social science subject, which is advertising and media. So today there are actually 4 pages of this chapter and we'll complete this chapter today in this particular video. Okay, let's start from here. Now students, whenever we go outside, we see a lot of advertisements in the form of posters. Again, when we open YouTube, we see a lot of advertisements before we get to watch a particular video. Now, why are these advertisements here? If you go to cities, there are many billboards, and not only billboards, there are many posters in each street. So why are these advertisements are there for? Actually, these advertisements are there because a product gets sales most effectively because of its packaging and the way it is advertised today. Because today is a world of increasing consumerism and competition. Well, you may ask me, what is advertising then? Advertising, we all know that it is a process of publicizing a product or service, of trying to sell a product or service by drawing people's attention to the product. Advertisements focus on all good points, students. So you must note down this, that you may have observed no advertisement talks about any bad point of the product. It always focuses on all the good points of the product. Why? Because if we know only the good points, then we'll maybe attracted to the product and buy it. And this is what the advertisers want. For the seller, advertising is a means of communication. It is a means of communication between the seller and the buyer, because the seller, for the seller, it is a way of informing the prospective buyers, that is those or the potential buyers, of the good features of his or her product. But in today's world, student, not only do advertisements inform us about a product, they often impress us, inspire and influence us to go and buy them, buy the particular product that has been advertised. And we may have observed that often the success or failure of a product, it generally depends on the effectiveness of the advertising strategy that has been used by the particular brand. Let's talk about some of the needs of advertisement. Well, there are several needs of advertisement. Some of them are here. First and foremost is to increase the sale of the product or service. Then to give information to the prospective buyers about the particular product, that such a product actually exists. Because unless someone knows that a particular product exists, how can a person buy that? So just to give information, advertisements are required. Next, creating and maintaining brand identity or brand image. About this we'll talk about in the next portion here. Okay. Then communicating a change in the existing product line or to consumers. Then next, creating awareness among consumers before launching or introducing a new product or service. This is very much common. This last point is very much common in mobile phones, because most of the mobile phones are advertised at least a month before they are launched, just to create an awareness among the consumers that such a product is going to be launched on such and such date. Next point is advertising and brand building. What is a brand, student? A brand is just a name that is given to a product or service. Some of the brands that you can recall is Lux, which is a soap, Surf Excel, which is a detergent powder. Okay. Now, Surf Excel and Lux, these are actually owned by a single company, that is Hindustan Unilever. But it has named a soap, that is a bathing soap, and a detergent powder differently. And why is it required? Because students, in the market there are many products that are competing with one another to get a share of the market. If you talk about the detergent powder, there are many detergent powders apart from Surf Excel. So what the marketers does, let's take the example of Lux soap. The soap maker creates a brand image for the soap. So you may have observed there is a logo of Lux, a different way of writing a font. He or she gives the soap a name and then tries to associate that name with certain qualities like cleansing, moisturizing, then disinfecting, beautifying, etc. Beautifying is the someone that is highlighted in Lux, whereas if you talk about disinfecting and cleansing, we talk about Lifebuoy and Dettol. Moisturizing, VII or Dove. So these are the soaps that are advertised and associated with these values. Advertisements are generally focused on a particular quality of the product. Students, you may have observed Dove focuses on the moisturizing portion, whereas Lifebuoy and Dettol, these are related generally to the disinfecting and cleansing, whereas beautifying is Dove also advertises somewhere between the beautifying, but Lux is primarily focused on that particular portion. Take the example of Fair and Lovely, that is also concerned about the beautifying. So the name of the product or brand gets associated with certain qualities. This becomes the brand image. If the brand image is good, the product sells well. I hope you understood up to this portion the meaning of brand image. Next portion is advertising and media. Advertising and the media are heavily dependent on each other. Why? Because the advertiser needs the advertisement for his product to get sold, and the advertisers, I mean those who show the advertisements, they get a revenue in return for showing those advertisements. Earlier, newspaper, magazines and radios, they were used for advertisement purposes, but now more advertisements are there on televisions and web pages, that is on internet. Out of these medias, I mean all these medias, television is the most costliest means of advertising, but it is the most effective one because there are many people who watch television. Although the time is changing, now most of the people are on the internet. Well, in the television there are different forms of advertisements. Some advertisements are fillers that come in the form of commercial breaks. There are some others that who prefer to sponsor the particular program itself. Take the example of IPL, which gets sponsored by different companies like Vivo or some other such similar companies, MRF. So advertisements are, I mean the television advertisements are done in different ways. Okay. Next person is there are different types of advertisings. The most important are the commercial advertising, then social, and then political advertising. What is the meaning of commercial advertising? Commercial, as the name suggests, students, it is just to sell products. Those advertisements are done that are completely for the purpose of selling a product or service is an commercial advertisement. When we open a particular program on a particular channel, we see the same advertisement again and again as a repetition and a constant repetition. Sometimes the same advertisement is repeated 2 or 3 times within half an hour. Why? Because the advertisers want the consumers not to forget their products. Other, take the example of this Dettol and their Oral-B toothbrush. They bring certain doctors to sponsor their products or to show their products, so that people will start trusting their products, and they show their products as a healthy choice. In some other cases, instead of doctors, celebrities are brought in to endorse their products, a particular product. Okay. In some cases, some catchy slogans are used, whereas in many cases, offering discounts on price by announcing a sale. Some advertisements target a particular section of society, like some target women, some target children. Now, celebrities, this portion, please remember, we'll talk about this in the next portion. Now we have social advertising. Social advertising, students, is as it is in the name suggests, it is for the social benefit of the society. When advertising is done for non-commercial purposes, that is with no financial gains, okay, and is used instead to educate, inform, and motivate the public, it is called social advertising. It includes advertising for the social issues like energy conservation, then public health, national integration, then deforestation. Some of the people who have advertised about, who has been in this social advertisements are, just take the example of Amitabh Bachchan. This person appeared in a series of advertising campaigns that sought to eradicate polio from India. Do Bund Zindagi Ki, that was the slogan. The government often uses the media to get messages through the public. That's like Man Ki Baat or some other. Most of the times, there are many government programs that are advertised in the television. Plus, the social advertisements are also used by the government to justify certain decisions it may have taken, like hiking the fuel price and all these things. Next, we have political advertisement. Political advertisement, it involves the use of media and public space by political parties to inform the public about their agendas and programs. This type of advertisement is very helpful in the countries like us, where multi-party system is functioning, where there are more than 2 or 3 parties in existence. Political parties place advertisements in newspaper and other related media, listing out their manifestos and highlighting their achievements. Apart from these 3 types of advertisement, students, there is another type of advertisement which is known as covert advertisement. Covert advertisement happens when a product or brand is embedded or hidden in some other form of entertainment and media. Many a times, students, we may have observed that in the movies, the particular actor uses a bike, Duke or Ducati, or a particular brand. If you have watched the recent movie Puspa, which is acted by Allu Arjun, you may have observed the bike that he rides is Royal Enfield. So this type of advertisements are actually known as covert advertisement. Next portion is the last portion here, that the disadvantages of advertising. Now, students, the first and the most important disadvantage of advertising is that most of the times the advertisers mislead the people. In many times they may not have improved their product, or just they have just changed the color or the cover or the container or the shape of the container of the product, and they may have advertised the product completely in a different way. Advertisers often do not give correct or relevant information about the product, students. Take the example of the fizzy drinks or the Coca-Colas. They are known to damage the teeth, but advertisements do not mention it. Take the example of the thumbs up. Salman Khan never informs this particular portion that thumbs up is capable of damaging your teeth and bones. Plus, thumbs up, if you consume these drinks, so beyond a particular extent, then they will also cause you diseases like diabetes, hypertension. And the advertisements, they never tell you all these things, the negative sides of the product, as I have told you in the previous section. Advertisers are well aware that advertisement in media with a few catchy slogans or attractive models can make a vast difference to their sales. They prey on the emotions of people, they influence their lifestyle and the way they view themselves and other people. Now, students, how to safeguard yourself from the disadvertisements of the advertisement. The first one is we should therefore always be aware of the negative side of the advertising. We should not get carried away by what we see and hear in the advertisement. We should find out more about the product and ask ourselves whether we really need it before buying the particular product. Here is certain summary of the particular chapter that we are reading here. So with this we have come to an end of this chapter. In case of any doubt, please ask me in the group. Thank you.